Congratulations, NSSF Uganda, for posting a 13.5% interest to your members who are the savers. I'm one of them, and I'm a happy man. I don't know every single year I'll be smiling like that, because NSSF is beating all odds to give its savers a smile on the workers or the savers' money. Certainly 13.5% is beating all the other investments hands down, because this is net. This is after tax. So when you compete with other investments, certainly the NSSF did very well. And I think sometime last year I indicated it that this is a fund that is doing wonders, not only in Uganda, but throughout the region. Surprisingly, NSSF Uganda is one of the biggest, pension fund in sub-Saharan Africa. And they are doing a very good job. I followed up the story, and I'm able to get some very good details here. Thank you, Monitor, for putting this matter into very good perspective. And I noted that how NSSF invested the money. I think, is it 85% went into fixed income? Fixed income being government bonds and bills, and plus any other financial product. The equities took up a 13.3%, and it also posted very good results. What really intrigued me to lead me into this discussion is the MD's comment that if you have some money on the side, buy a bond. If you have some money on the side, buy a bond. It's the safest place to put your money. Many people rush to buy land, and yes, it's fine. You are building, it might be a home or anything. I think that's where the jigs of today's discussion is centering. Because I feel so happy that I've been vindicated. I've been proven right. That I've always argued that people who are in a certain income bracket, who has a certain amount of money on the side, can invest in bonds, can invest into financial products. That has always been my argument. Principally, my argument was in vernacular, so translating it in English has always been an issue. This has always been my argument, and thank you so much, NSSMD, for putting it in its rightful perspective. If you have any money on the side, please buy bonds, because they will give you good returns. And that is what I've been, putting across, that buy the bonds if you have some surplus income. And to me, as a tool for savings, not necessarily an investment. To me, as a tool, and with the understanding that at a certain point of time X, you will get it and invest into some other real assets. It is coming to reality. He has advised, if you have some, and how many Ugandan workers, all Ugandans can put aside some money. He did not say that your first priority should be investing in bonds. But if you have some money, please buy the bonds. And that is what I've been arguing about, that some young people, some adults into a certain income bracket, if you have some money put aside, please put it in bonds. He did not say that if you want to invest your money, invest it in bonds. But if you have some money, he fell short of saying if you have some spare money, meaning that you can do so many sorts of investments. But if you have some spare money, put it in bonds. I agree. At what stage? I will not talk about the age. Do people have some? It can be in form of savings, that of your salary, when you make your expenditures and all the other expenses, you remain with some money. Please invest it in bonds. I had an issue with people being encouraged to a point that the only optional investment is bonds. That you can as well sell your property, and in order to get good returns, you invest that money into bonds, which I agree with and stated that that should happen not to an enterprising young person, a bulging entrepreneur, but possibly adult or retiring people. You could offload some of your assets and put into a safer investment, like bonds. I will still insist, I find it a problem for an enterprising young person to get hold of his money, not some, and that his real investment is in bonds. I wonder if this is understandable, clearly understandable. That you are young. I am a bit uncomfortable with buying land and building homes, that many people rush to buy land. And yes, it's fine, you are building a home. But if you call that an investment, you are speculating. I'm uncomfortable with that statement if it was made. Because regardless of whatever your objective in life is, you'll have to have a dwelling. You'll have to have a home. If a home is not an investment, so be it. But if you're a family person, and you tell your family that, for me, I'm investing, I don't have a home. I've come across many young people who are investing into financial products. But as I indicated last time, these are people who are in mid-income levels. They build their homes, and I still insist, first build your home. First have your dwelling. I do not, as Mamedi Kachika, do encourage a young person that he should only invest into other financial products and does not look into buying of land. Because Africans, at least we have not yet got into that area, Africans, we still must own family homes. And I've not seen, at least the ones that I interact with, many of the people, young people who are buying bonds, all of them have their personal homes. And it is the only measure that a person right now, this money that you are going to put into the bonds is what the chief talked about, as you have some after meeting the basic needs. Housing, shelter is a basic need. And then it comes to people of my caliber. I think somebody will have to appreciate that a person making these statements, I am very certain that I am in the 1% bracket of the highest savers monthly with NSSF. That one, without a doubt, they can check themselves. I know the confidentiality they cannot disclose, but I'm very certain I am one of the 1% high savers with the NSSF. So I'm not speaking out of the cloud. And I don't usually raise my points for purposes of winning arguments. No, I'm an academician. So I raise up the points on part of. So, despite of posting these returns, whilst, on a wider perspective, it has its own positions that the Ugandan interest rate repayment debt proportion. I think we are paying over 9 trillion in debt interest repayment. And if 85% of posting this good result is as a result of us putting the savers' money into buying those government bonds, it's very good. It's moving from one pocket, the left-hand side pocket, into the right-hand side pocket. And I still have the feeling that usually reconciling macroeconomic goals is not very simple. That what works for personal saver or personal interest is probably might not be the same that works very well in national interest. We can smile and be very happy when we are buying these bonds and we are getting 16.5%. But nobody has ever questioned that with the rising budgetary debt ratio, won't it one time come to bite us? Isn't it possibly better if some other people don't just sing the chorus, buy bonds, buy bonds, buy bonds, and some other people encourage, especially the young people, to get involved into productive ventures? What if Mamedi Kachika said, every extra sum of money that you have, buy more land, productive land, utilize that land, create wealth out of that land, and not only concentrating onto buying fixed income to earn your interest. Am I clear? That Mamedi Kachika is saying, if you have some extra income and you have the capacity, buy some land, start up a business, run that business, especially productive investment, get involved into production, produce, sell. The government revenue increases by taxing those people instead of relying majorly on one source of government revenue being borrowing from the public. Who is a better economist there? The one that encourages people to lend their money to government so that the government can service the debt, or the one who says that any extra income that you have, put it into a productive venture so that when you expand, the tax base of the country will be able to expand and the government can fund its operation through taxes generated from those who are involved into productive ventures, rather than concentrating mostly onto borrowing from the same public so that you can service the debt. I think that is my food for thought for today. Should it be that when you have some money, you should buy a bond? Or it should be that when you have some money, invest it into a productive venture? That's Mamedi Kachika for today. I think you can show, I wish at any given forum, I'll be able to share for me, whenever I have some money, what I do with it. I'm not an ardent supporter of lending that money to government. I'm an ardent supporter of people, if you can, to productively invest that money into ventures That will generate revenue that can enable the country wide its tax base so that the government taxes them, get the revenue, and it is able to finance its budget, rather than encouraging people to lend their money to the government so that it can service the debt. Thank you very much.